Okay. So guys, welcome back to another video of the NASA Directory. Today we're gonna see the consequences of the Flight 9. This is the very earliest speculation that I always make, and you might have watched these videos before because I always make the speculation anticipation about the flight, especially for the flights of the starships. And in this video, I will be cover up the what's the new in a Flight 9 profile, and what was the consequences at the root of the flight problem in a Flight 8. So these all the things we will be cover up in this video without any hesitation. So let's begin this entire video without wasting our time. So the first we're gonna learn about the consequences and my earliest speculation that I made for to understand how the Flight 9 would go without any technical depth knowledge. Okay, so I mean this is not technical depth knowledge that actually I will tell you the why that the flaw and why that the failure happened in the Flight 9 and what is the root of that failure. So but I'm just anticipating the actual surface actions and tasks. Okay, so let's begin this entire live stream without any hesitation and let's see the consequences. So yeah. Yes. So you can see behind me, this is my graph and chart of the entire Flight 9 performance. So here I have written down all these maneuver and the phases that the Flight 9 will be performed. They both vehicles, the booster 14-2 and the ship 35. Okay. So we have to see first from the T plus 1 minutes and under the 1 minutes that when we hit to the T plus 0, I mean T minus 0, whenever the vehicle lift off. Okay, the vehicle will lift off as a nominal, and we expected the successful mass Q also, and then at the 2 minute 30 seconds in accounting the T plus, the hot staging will be occur as a plan. But during the ascent, we are anticipating that some kind of rare issues will be happen because since we are using the booster dash 2 just for the refly mission, and we don't know exactly how the starship in the starship program the booster kind of the entire launch vehicle will be fly again in a refly mission. So we can anticipate some of the rare challenges in a Saint Burn, but till the hot staging, the once the hot staging has confirmed and performed on the T plus on a T plus 2 minutes in a 30 seconds counting, then the booster will be perform the various tasks and challenges that SpaceX has set and scheduled in a prior, and they have a test stated in their entire Flight 9 profile. Okay, the first we have to see that our previous boosters, including the booster 14, it have done it's the randomized flip maneuver in the Flight 9. I mean in the Flight 7. That was the Flight 7 mission when the booster 14 has performed the regular flip maneuver. Okay, but in this flight we will be gonna perform the directional and very precise flip maneuver to avoid any the use of the onboard RCS system of the booster to prevent the consumption of the fuels. Okay, so this flip maneuver will be taken a place after we have completed our hot staging maneuver and prior to the boost back burn. And once that done, the boost back burn will be initiated. Once the boost back burn initiated, then we will see the booster coasting over the Gulf of Mexico. I mean Gulf of America, guys. It's the actual thing. So over the Gulf of America, although the offshore scheduled landing, the SpaceX wanted to perform some additional and extensive data and the performance from the booster 14. That's why they're gonna perform over the offshore location. So the once they have done the boost back burn, the booster will start to descend through the atmosphere and at the angle of attack. You gonna not believe that the SpaceX wanted to increase the angle of attack, to increase the atmospheric drag and prevent any higher acceleration in a descent maneuver. So the once they descending to the ground, so they will have the very lower amount of the descent velocity. So descent velocity equivalent to the lower consumption of the fuel during the landing burn. So they can save the more fuel for the landing burn when the landing burn must be very aggressive and more for the safety, guys. That's for the safety. So these all the things and challenges that they're gonna perform in the Gulf of Mexico in an offshore zone from the launch site, okay, in a landing site, because they wanted to perform it without wasting and messing with their launch and landing infrastructure. That's what they're gonna do right now. So after the booster of food in Dash 2 has spared off and the sacrifice himself for the additional data, SpaceX will attend the Ship 35 ascent maneuver, and this is a very crucial part because in our prior because in our the previous two flights we have dealt with the many issues. These issues cause to the biggest catastrophic event. Just like in a flight 9, we faced the harmonic resonance and the aft cavity. The aft section cavity has exposed the live fire on board of the ship 33, and after that the ship 33 demise, we met to the newest problem in the ship 34 that we're gonna discuss later. But for the prior surface information, that the ship 34 had not the harmonic resonance issue, it had the something new issue that caused to the entire flight destroy in a mid path before it's reaching to the Seco. Yeah. So the ship 35 will start to perform is the Seco burn with the six Raptor engines with the differentials optimized. The one is the like three set of engines in the center is a sea level optimized, and three set of an outer ring is optimized for this vacuum engine. So all the engines will be running as expected. We don't know exactly, but let's see. But the ones they have reached to the near to the Seco phase when the flight computer known for the avionics systems are responsible for the shutdown the entire Raptor engines. Yes, and during that maneuver, everything should be correct and it should be properly functioning. So, but as we expected that the ship 35 undergone the many ground testing, including the two separate static fire. The first static fire was the replication of the entire problem. Second static fire take place to perform the actual performance of the static fire for the long duration, and then the ship 35 did the final verification by firing the stars, not static fire, it was the cryogenic pressurized entire maneuver that we call the spin prime. So the spin prime tested just prior to just days ago. So we are anticipating that the C35 undergone the many testing to ensuring that it will reach to the our SECO phase and it will pass through and cross to the SECO. But we don't know exactly. So I have speculated the C35 have the 40% chance to reach the SECO, and that 40 second that the 40% chance it's just the speculation, but exactly we don't know. There could be issue, the new race issue. We don't know. So the ship 35 have the very miraculously uh, fate and luck, or otherwise it will be the same as the ship 34, ship 33 have met before. So let's see what will happen again. But we will see the bright side of this entire flight. So we are watching the actual thing. So once the ship 35 perform the sequel, they will be cheer up. But after that, there is a less chance to perform the actual Starlink simulator deployment. So for that, we have the 10% Starlink Starlink simulator deployment. So that's the percentage at deciding the how much difficult is the flight now. So the 10% is just speculation. and after then it will perform the 5% with the chance and probability that the Raptor relight demo will be taken up. So we don't know Raptor relight demo will be a happen or not, but there is a 5% probability. It's telling and indicating G35 will be performed there, and after that it will perform the re-entry maneuver with the higher angle of attack to reduce the amount of the the descent velocity, increasing the atmospheric drag. Okay, so in this maneuver we have the 22% chance of the survival to the re-entry, because SpaceX has promised a lot about the adultitude and the higher gen thermal protection system combination would pose the higher tolerance power during the re-entry maneuver. But we don't know exactly how their test statement will be go. But we are confidently telling that the Ship 35 will be performed to the re-entry successfully. But according to my speculation, it will perform the entire entry with the 2% probability. So we are going to the some dark side or not, but let's see what will happen. Either it could be explored during the starting re-entry, or it will lost its the entire position attitude control, or everything could be happen in this flight, right? And after then it will perform the belly flop with this the landing burn. So during the landing burn we have 2.7 successful landing. 2.7 probability is the last ever the landing probability, that only 1% chance has left to prove the C-35 fate. Otherwise it will be gone in the Indian Ocean and with the very shattered pieces. So let's see what will happen next, because we are anticipating the C-35 and how the whole thing will be go as we are anticipating now, right? So but dark side is the similar. So what could be happen in dark side? So there are the probability of the new issues rises. The first probability am I telling, the ascent burn of the full stack will be have some issues like the some reactor engines will be gone out, because since they have reused the 29 reactor out of the 33 reactor engines in a fresh, so maybe they have to deal with the issue during the ascent. So booster 14-2 will have the ascent problem, and then it will have the successful hot staging if it have performed the ascent successfully. But after this hot staging they will done all the scheduled task what they have to perform offshore zone. So but after then the Ship 35 is a mainly will be deal with the new challenge is including the onboard is not about the fire, is not about the explosion, is not about the engine failure, is about the newer challenge that I'm gonna reveal now. That challenge is the attitude control. Yeah, I'm not serious. I'm serious too. I'm not looking serious, but the attitude control flaw plus the engine new issues will be up to happen in a flight 9 in the dark side. I'm telling you, in the dark side the Ship 35 gonna have that one, and probably we will not see the Starlink simulator deployments, but Starlink simulator deployments will be happen. I'm telling you, this is happen. This is gonna be happen. So if they have completed SECO successfully, then the Starlink deployment has a lesser chance to be performed, because it's the page door dispenser door will be have some problem, and injector plates some have problem inside the mechanism, and we will see the re-entry problem that I already have described in a prior, because in a previous flight 7 and flight 8 consequences study I have explained about how the re-entry of the Ship 35 will be pose some serious issues, because it's the deflections of the heat on the very smaller sections of its the entire body. So it doesn't have the bulky body, it doesn't have the actual bulky like block 2 block 1 versions. So it will have the some thermal bombarding over its the TPS tiles. So, but that's not the actual challenges and serious problem. The problem is that the some deflections will be happen at a very higher concentration point of the body. That's called the windward side. So leeward side we will have the very lesser chance of the getting a hit up. But as we've seen, the flap will be stand up very amazingly without any problem. But there is a problem is the de-integration during the re-entry because the deflections of the heat and the lower bulky body will pose the higher concentration of the temperature and plasma exposure. So that will lead the TPS one off. And once the TPS wearing starting to wearing off, we will see the some high chunk of like big chunk of the TPS style will be flew backward, flew out from the ship, and possibly we will have the more damages this time. And landing burn is very far than we are anticipating, but landing burn will take a pace with the no ranges. Landing burn will have a serious issue because it will perform through the higher density of the re-entry, and we're gonna have the one, and that's the entire thing gonna take a place. The bright side we saw, the dark side we saw, and now we have to evaluate the actual thing. That is the what was the cause of the entire flight 8 issue. Yes, the specific has stated earlier, so we're gonna talk now that the booster 15 had the issue first time. So let's begin this entire issue systems. I mean issues topic. That what was happened in a flight 8 exactly according to the specifics. There was a many issue has raised. Not only the upper stage, also in the first stage. The first stage has performed its nominal ascent. After the ascent completed, it have completed its the return to launch site entire process. So during the launch return to launch site process, it have ignited the boost back burn with the 3 out of Raptor engines. And why these 3 out of Raptor engines was there? Because that was there due to the Raptor igniter, like torch igniter issue. There was a many torch igniter issue happening nowadays in a booster. So I have already stated about this in my flight 9 what went wrong series. But the torch igniter did not ignite the Raptor engines. That's why they were off now during the booster burn, and that was the fully the entire reason behind why the booster 15 had the continuous failure of its the Raptor engine during the all the critical maneuver, including the boost back burn and landing burn. So these are not the actual normal and common thing. This is very uncommon that booster is gonna have the same issues with the Raptor. So they have to fix it permanently, otherwise this if future flights will have some serious challenges. And in upper stage, as we see, it have completed it's the ascent burn. I mean it was gonna complete the actual uh, ascent burn, and it's gonna have the sequel. But actually what happened during the entire flight was the very catastrophic because at the 8 minute in accounting, the T plus 8 minute, it has started to lost is the attitude control, and we saw visible data, visible speckle, visible scenery that the ship 35 started to the rolling on the axis, and its speed started to roll off because uneven thrust in its the propulsion system, because 2 engines and 3 engines were out of its service, and these engines are exploded on this place. But actually cause of this entire issue was the in and the word like off nominal fuel mixing in the Raptor engines, and that behind the issue was the hardware failure in one of the center Raptor engines on the ship 34. That was the sea level engines, not the actual sea. Our vacuum engines have problem during that, but one of the 3 Raptor engines in a 3 center of the entire ship 34 posed a serious issue because the off-nominal fuel mixing led to the entire Raptor engine performance downplay. So they have played it not perfectly. So inaccurate fuel mixing led the entire flight demise because it started to lose its the thrust, it started to lose its the integrity because of the hardware failure, and that's why the C-34 have met to its the flight end up. So that was the issue. What exactly SpaceX stated right now, and so let's see what's the new in this flight 4. The new, including the mission profile, that there is something will be happen very good because in a flight 9 they are planned there are many higher performance testings for the first stage, not for the second stage for now, but in the first stage is a priority that the booster 14-2 will be used as a test article for these challenges and tasks. The first, during its the ascent, it will perform nominally, but during the hot staging, as I stated just a moment ago, that they will perform the actual flip maneuver in a directional manner, because in the before we have been doing this the entire flip maneuver in a randomized direction due to the uneven push from the upper stage tractor engines, but now we're gonna perform it in a precise direction without even using the our RCS onboard thrusters. So this will be happen by blocking the several vents on the hot stage adapter, and the ones that come clear, and because due to that the upper stage will be fired up it's the all the engines before we ignite in the booster gun on the first stage. So this will push off the entire engine, so the entire first stage booster on the directional manner, and this will be done without assisting the all the vents on board, so the we will be not use any propellant to push the booster off to and divert its the position. So this will happen by just mechanical changes in a hot stage adapter by blocking the several vents on a directional manner. So they will be performed. They will help to assist this entirely possible. And during the re-entry, they have a plan to do the higher angle of attack. You can see this here that the booster 14 that and not booster 14 that was the booster 15 has performed the higher angle of attack. That was not the higher angle of attack. That was the compensation burnout. So that compensation burnout make it off control now maneuver, but hanger, sorry, higher angle of attack will be performed by the booster 14-2 during its re-entry to reduce the amount of the descent velocity and increase the atmospheric drag as we known for the our descending our velocity and lowering it in a very high lower. So it will be save us the more fuel during the landing burn to perform it if the engines are gone out and perform to uh, perform to of nominal landing burn. So they will keep the one engine out of from the center of reactor engines to perform the various testing, the high performance of nominal or the inaccurate landing to perform the how the booster avionics system will learn that phase and momentum, and that's the whole thing gonna be happen. And current update I wanted to give you, the booster 14-2 has rolled to the launch side for the launch mount setting, and then booster I mean ship 35 have loaded is the Starlink satellites, and Starlink satellite simulators have loaded, and they have completed all the loading procedure, and now that are we anticipating tonight it will go to the launch side, then we will have the stack, and we will see the some uh, pre-flight testing including the weather CSL if they want to do it, but they will end up with the actual flight just like our previously. They were they were overlooked the weather CSL that led the entire flight insanely end up in a first attempt, because the all the error logs will be collected in a weather CSL, because the first time this is a fresh full stack, so we have to see how the flight will be going in a prior twist on Instagram zero stage, stage zero. So let's see how the entire flight will take a place, and I'm anticipating that the booster 14-2 will perform everything. But for the ship 35, we cannot tell exactly, because whenever we tell the fate of the booster ships, starships, always they go opposite to our expectations. So I'm not gonna tell everything, but I will tell the Seco is the guaranteed. This is a mission to hit the Seco, and that's what we wanted to do in this flight. So let's see, C-35 will be go through the Mako and perform its the fate, perform to the signal, perform the actual resilience through the Miko, Seco. So bye. My name is Gauradushi. You're watching an Answer Factory. I made it as possible before the flight 9 will be take a place. I will be do the live stream for to see my reaction in the morning of that flight. So I'm very anticipating because this flight will be happen in the night time at the 6:30, and I'm very really wow, that's amazing. That's gonna be amazing thing. I'm really anticipating for that one. And nighttime launch is too, I mean, beautiful, right? So I will meet you more. Bye.